All right, ladies and gentlemen, Rafi Chowdhury here with RafiChowdhury.com. And if my background, everything looks kind of different, it's because I'm currently actually recording this video while in Bangladesh. And if you hear a lot of background noise, it's probably because I am sitting with the windows wide open. As you can see, let's see, windows open behind me here, on this side as well. So there's a lot of cars and things like that that are everywhere downstairs and on the ground. So let's get started. So this training video is pretty much gonna be the golden nugget that you guys will need to really be able to understand how to actually get into some of these major publications out there. You see so many people out there just trying all these different tactics and tricks, and there's just all sorts of gurus out there that are just kind of telling you, yeah, do it like that, do it like this. The reality is that most people are just trying all sorts of things that don't work. And today in this video, I'm going to keep it very short, very concise, and very much to the point. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to give you the actual sort of like insider secret, and we'll take it from there. So before we get started, a little bit about me. My name is Rafi Chowdhury. I've been on the internet for the past, this is my 7th year actually in business. I got started back in 2012 with my first few things. And so I'll kind of take you guys down that story, and we'll get started. So today's video is mostly going to be related to how to hack your personal brand. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to become a writer for publications such as Forbes, Entrepreneur. We're going to talk about how to get verified on Facebook with a blue tick mark. If you've seen a lot of celebrity profiles and high profile personnel have a blue tick mark. And finally, we're also going to talk about how to actually make money from all of these things, how I do it, how other entrepreneurs are doing it, anywhere between $2,000 upwards of $20,000 a month while doing PR for high-end clients as a side thing on top of what you guys already currently do. So let's talk a little bit about my journey of 6 years. So I started out in the SEO and digital marketing world. I spent at least five years in that kind of field. Got into full-time blogging once I realized that I had secret talent and knack for just getting a bunch of visitors to my website. I did. I'm actually gonna take it off of this. No, I'll leave it like this. So I did a lot of growth marketing for venture-backed startups. When I went out to California for a year, I did a lot of that kind of stuff out there. Built up my social media following up to 500,000 now. Some of you guys are following me on social media, so you can kind of see that already. And I started writing for sites like Forbes, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, Business.com, Business to Community, and more. Back in 2016, I was named as one of the top 10 personal branding experts to follow by Sujan Patel. I got verified on social media, and I used my personal brand to land high-ticket clients for marketing. Got into PR. When I realized that marketing was so saturated, there were so many people doing the same generic stuff, I wanted to be different. And PR was the way that I could get into that. So got involved with PR, and I began teaching other people how to do PR for themselves and consistently be able to pull in 6 figures over the last several years, like I've been doing in this space. And the reality of it is that none of this stuff is difficult. You know, it's just that it takes kind of paving the path when you first start something and you start doing it. And I did a lot of that early on because not a whole lot of other people were doing what I was doing. So I had to kind of build an industry, or kind of build in this space on my own and figure out like what works, what doesn't work. And I did that by seeing people that were already successful, already doing the things that were very similar to what I wanted to do. And I replicated and basically duplicated their models, and I created something very similar to what they were doing. And that's kind of how I got started personally. And I'm very transparent and open about how I do things. And so nothing that you're going to hear is fluff. It's all true. Everything that I'm going to tell you is exactly how it is. I don't have really anything to gain from this except for just giving you guys all the information and then letting you guys decide, do you want to take some action? Do you want to make it happen or not? If no, great. Nothing changes about me. Maybe hopefully you'll find something that'll be just as good for you to continue it. But if you do take action, if there's anything that I say in this next few minutes that actually helps you become the person that you are, achieve the goals that you're looking to do, and really build something or do something that that goes towards answering your bigger why behind why you're doing everything, then hey, by all means, my time is not wasted, and that's really all we can hope and pray for. So I'm not doing this to brag by any means. I'm just showing you guys just an average Joe, just like myself. I'm 26 years old. I'm, born in Bangladesh. So I'm visiting right now, but I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and there's nothing that I did that was anything extraordinary. I just started working on the internet, and I started doing things, and I started figuring things out. So since then, I've been blessed actually with the opportunity to write for publications like Business to Community, Startup Grind. I've been featured on numerous hundreds and hundreds of blogs and podcasts around the web, like Weird Entrepreneurs, run by Justin Berengia. I've had the opportunity to write for Forbes magazine, Huffington Post. I've been featured in the news multiple times for different things that I did with chess, with entrepreneurship, with marketing. I've also a columnist on BuzzFeed, Entrepreneur Magazine, Goodman Project, dozens of other publications. You can just Google me and you'll see a lot of them popping up. And so, writing for these publications, being so active, constantly helping people, over time, people start finding out who you are. People start noticing, like, oh man, this guy's doing something. Some people are talking about him. Like, his stuff is all everywhere. Like, people keep messaging me, hey man, I keep seeing you everywhere. Like, what do you actually do? Well, what I actually do is very simple. I, I I use a law of averages. I go through a lot of people. I connect with a lot of people, and I try to figure out which of these people have problems, who has a pain point that I can solve. And I look at my array of solutions, which I have quite a few, and I educate them on their problem, okay? And I basically present them with a solution that I personally have. That's really all I do, whether it's marketing or PR or SEO or website development, you name it. Ultimately, it's simple. People have problems. People have pain points. People will pay you anything to get rid of those pain points, right? If you have a headache, it doesn't matter how much the the headache medication. What do they even take for that? What do you call it? I'm drawing a blank right now. But whatever people take for over-the-counter medication for headaches, it doesn't matter how much it's going to cost. People will pay it just to get rid of the headache because you create a solution. That's a solution for their immediate pain point. So if you can create those solutions consistently and find those people that have those pain points, you're gonna be able to be successful. It's not rocket science. That's kind of what I did too. I became very active on Facebook, got verified, grew my following now to over 100,000 followers on Facebook, and that's kind of what has been helping me continue growing this brand. All right, next. So I read a book not too long ago, about a year or so ago, by Russell Brunson called .com Secrets, and that book talks a lot about your attractive character. If you want people to listen to you, if you want people to take your advice, if you want people to actually pay attention to what you have to say, you've got to be a person they can relate to. All right. So my average population is an entrepreneur who is on the internet or spends a whole bunch of money on the internet. And these people are not often, they're often like shy people. They don't really want to be in front of a camera much. So I try to create a persona that kind of matches that. I'm not out there just big, bold, and just doing, taking pictures with fancy cars and all this kind of stuff. I don't do any of that kind of stuff because I don't think that appeals to my exact target audience. I try to be a genuine person that runs an internet business that doesn't make millions of dollars, but doesn't really make hundreds of dollars either. I make enough money to where I can be anywhere in the world pretty much, have this laptop, an internet connection, which is even in Bangladesh and every country really today, and be able to generate revenue while being able to do the things that I want to do, spend the time with the people that I want to spend time with, like I'm doing currently with relatives and things like that. That's it. And I try to keep my persona very, very authentic, very, very, if you follow me on Facebook, you will see I post everything on there. There's nothing I hold back. And that's the kind of persona that I've created. That's the kind of attractive character that I've created for myself, and it works really well. So you've got to create your buyer persona. You've got to create a personal brand, and that needs to be something unique and authentic and true to you. Don't try to make up someone that you're not. Just be yourself and just tell people who you are and what you do, and it will attract people because chances are you will have done something that they haven't done, and they're going to go to you to ask you how to do that in the shortest possible period of time that they can. So you have to create a lot of content. Like I'm creating content right now. I'm giving you guys an entire spiel on how I do everything and why I do it and all this kind of stuff. You've got to educate people, and you got to tell them like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I fix problems, and this is how I can fix your problem. This is how you should fix your problem, and just tell them. Share your expertise with people, and most importantly, I syndicate my content. I basically let people know that once I've created a piece of content, it's a video or it's a blog post or maybe it's infographic or whatever this thing is, I try to make sure that I post that in as many different places as I can, so I don't have to keep creating new content all the time and get tired of and burnt out. I can use the same piece of content and reach a lot of people with it. So if you want to become a contributor, or if you want to get featured in big name publications, which is majority of you guys that are watching these videos, and you guys are trying to figure out how to do that, you're trying to figure out how to do it for other people and make some money doing it, you've got to be a good storyteller. That's really it. You have to be a really good storyteller. You have to appeal to people's emotions. So there are three essential things that you need to know for this. All right. Number one, you have to have a unique angle to present any story to anybody, no matter how boring the story is. The reality is that not everything you're going to do is going to be super cool, like Elon Musk, going and making rockets and beating NASA at it and all this kind of good stuff. Not all of us are Elon Musk. Not all of us are, Donald Trump or whoever, is doing crazy things today. And so if you want to be able to get your story out to these big publications that talk about interesting things, you've got to make your story seem interesting. And the way you make stories seem interesting is that you tell it from different angles. All right. If I go to let's just say I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden this dog comes chasing me down the street and chases me half a block, 2 blocks down the street, and I get home, finally shut the door behind me, and then I tell that story to my grandmother, that story is going to be very different from the dog telling that same story to its kids, right? You know what? One of those humans, man, I chased that thing down so hard because I think he had a cookie in his pocket. I wanted that thing so bad. And I'm over here telling my grandmother, this dog was trying to just kill me. These are murderers. It's two different angles and two different completely crazy stories that you can build from the same sequence of events. So you got to think of unique angles to present your story and tell from different perspectives, and try to add flavor to it. You've got to hire a great copywriter who can do this kind of stuff for you if you don't know how to do it yourself. I'm not the best copywriter in the world. I hire copywriters all the time. And I also drink a lot of water. So, water break. So, when you create the content, it can't just be fluff all the time. Like, you can get away with a lot of fluff. You can just, tell people about how your day is going or what you're doing or something really salesy sometimes. But really, at the end of the day, most of your content needs to be educational. Meaning, they can read it, shut off their computer, implement it right away to improve their life or their business. Right away. They should be able to implement what you're saying. And if they can't do it, you need to reevaluate your content to make sure that is it really helping them solve their problems. And if it's not, you need to create better content. You need to be more in depth. You need to be more step-by-step how to. Teach people how to do something. Teach people how to ride a bike. Teach people how to sell things on brick and mortar stores. Teach people how to sell more clothes. Teach people how to get a job. Teach people how to get out of debt. Teach people how to learn about investing. Teach people how to buy a house. Whatever it is that you're teaching, you need to provide a solid value, and that cannot be done in 1-minute videos or 500-word blog posts. You need to invest some time to create some amazing pieces of content. All right, so writing your pitch to a publication. You want to get into Forbes, you want to get into Inc. Here are the things that you need to make sure. Okay, I'm just going to go through these step by step. Does the publication actually accept contributors? Maybe it's a site that doesn't have any contributors or doesn't accept anybody, and you're wasting a lot of your time. There's a Adhan going on right now, time for prayer. So that's what you hear in the background if you're hearing a lot of noise. Does the publication actually accept contributors? You need to make sure if it's not just staff writers, they actually accept contributors. Which section of the publication do you want to write for? Is it the business section? Is it the finance section? Is it the life in lifestyle section? Is it the entertainment section? You need to take account of that. You need to take already published articles and write one that's very similar to one that already got accepted. That's the only way you're going to know that whatever you're writing fits their guidelines, is if you create something that's already something similar to something that's already been published. It gives you a really, really good chance that yours will also get accepted. You got to find the exact pitch guidelines, okay? You're going to have to find exactly what they want and follow it to the dot. Like everything. Don't try to make up your own stuff. Just follow their rules. You got to connect with other writers and you have to get their feedback. To network with people, reach out to people like myself or people who write for these big publications and ask them, how did you get into the publication? How do you write your content? Do you mind if I take a look at your next draft? Can I help you with something? Just pick their brain and try to understand, like, how did they do it? How did they do it? How did they get into that publication? What was their exact process? Because chances are, if you replicate that, you're also going to be able to get into it. All right, so you need to know who you are, who and where, and how to submit your article. All right, do you send it to the main editor? Do you have to send it through some sort of portal on their website? Do you just randomly email it to somebody? You got to know where to send your article to. You need to choose the right topic. You can't just write about how to, how to catch a dog in a publication that's about how to get a girlfriend. It doesn't make any sense. They're not really related to each other. All right, so you need to make sure that your topic fits the guidelines and fits the publication, the style. And again, by looking at other existing articles, you can easily figure that out. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. The basic article structure. Your article needs to be structured in a certain way. And I have separate videos that I've created on this. But you're going to have some sort of an introduction, some sort of major bullet points, 1, 2, 3, some sort of conclusion. Underneath each major bullet points, you need to have some sort of a personalized example, some big brand example, some sort of case study, research, and then also back up everything that you say with citations and things like that. These are very, very important for articles of this type. So this is kind of the basic structure that I was talking about. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. It's just, this is how it is here. There's no air-conditioned, closed rooms, soundproof rooms. It's just Bangladesh, So, the basic article structure. Most publications online have a very similar structure they want all contributors to follow. So you want to have an intro/briefing. You want to have these actionable advice points, 1, 2, 3 at least. It could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sometimes even. You need to have some personal testimonial. How did it affect you? How did it help you in your business? Okay, you need to talk about the results as well. What results were you able to create with this? All right. You need to also include some sort of big company testimonial. You need to have some sort of testimonial or case study that some other company has done, some big research that has been done, some stats you need to share. All right. These are very, very crucial. And you need to have some sort of conclusion and a wrap up that kind of ties everything together. And you need to make sure that everything is actionable. Like, that's why I keep saying actionable advice, not just advice. Actionable. They should be able to turn off the laptop, get off of it, and create actionable content that people can implement right away. All right, so let's talk a little bit about building relations with editors and journalists. You need to understand the reciprocity principle, okay? If you do something for somebody, people feel like they owe you something, okay? They feel like they owe you something, so they're gonna be more likely to actually help you and do something for you as well. So that's how you build relations with editors. You help them out, you help them create a content, you compliment them, you make them feel good, you tell them how awesome their article and their writing is, and in return, when you go to pitch them something, it's gonna be much more likely that they're gonna be interested in speaking with you because you've already helped them. You've already kind of given them some guidance. You've already kind of shown them values. They're going to be much more likely to actually work with you. You need to create a done-for-you, win-win, reciprocal relationship building. Okay? The angle you take with the story and your pitch needs to be on point. You need to have a high-converting pitch template. I'm going to give you some of these templates if you've been following me a lot. Sorry about that sound. All right, the angle you take with the story and your pitch is important. You need to have a high converting pitch template, like I said. And if you message me, and I'll send these to you. Engage journalists and get their attention via email and social media. Reach out to them. You need to successfully grow a Facebook group full of journalists so you can have access to any of them via any kind of snap of a finger. And if you haven't, you need to join mine. I already have one where I have all these people added to it. You need to build relationships via video and phone calls. When you talk to them, get on a phone call, talk to them face to face. You can connect with them better. And you need to build journalist relationships at conferences and events in real life. Those are the best relationships, always. All right, so you can use your contributor authority to build following on Facebook and get verified. So you can share your published content on high authority sites on social media. You need to you can send out your content to your email list. That's a great way. You can mention other influencers in your articles and leverage their audience as well, because they're going to want to share it once you send it out to them. You can reach out to the reps at Facebook and you can request your page to be verified. It's another thing you could do. All right. You can also do social media verification and author accounts on authority websites to get qualified for a Wikipedia page. So if you've already been featured in many publications, you're already verified on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, there's a good chance you qualify to have a Wikipedia page as well. All right. Let me see how much more I have left on the slides. Slide number 11. We're going to go up to 17. All right. I got to hurry up. I'm taking too much of your time. All right, so how do you run your own PR agency? It's very easy. You need to find your own clients using personal branding, using influencer marketing, reaching out to people that have big followings. You need to network within niche groups on Facebook, on Twitter, at conferences, at different events. You need to run social media ads if that makes sense for you and if you can afford to do that and if you can create positive ROI from it. You need referrals. You have no idea how much I leverage referrals. Every time I see a happy client, I say, hey, you want 25% off on the next thing that you're going to buy? Guess what? Refer me to 3 people. I'll give you 25% off on the next thing that you buy from me. Boom. Got 23 new people to prospect. And they came straight from your happy customer. They're the best kind of leads you could possibly have. To have case studies, people that you've already helped, write it down. I have a huge list of case studies, all the people that I've helped. I make posts about it on Facebook and I save all those URLs so I can show them to the future leads and clients. Lead magnets. You need to get some people to opt into you and to start following you. You need to give them something that really solves a big problem in exchange for their contact information, so they can be added to your list, so they can see what you have to say and things like that. So how to close high ticket sales over the phone. That's a big one. If you want to do well in online marketing, you're going to have to learn phone sales. If you don't know how to do phone sales, you're going to suffer. I'm telling you. A lot of entrepreneurs out there are very smart. They're very good at what they do, but they don't know anything about closing over the phone. And that's one of my biggest strengths. I'm really, really good at closing over the phone. That's how I make most of my money anyway. So you need to build rapport with them for 2 minutes. And then at the 2 minutes, when you get on the phone with them, ask them for a small request. Like, for example, you could say like, oh, I can't hear you. Can you maybe like put on some headphones or something like that, man? Can you go to a quieter place? That gets them already taking action and listening to you. They're already used to that. Later on, when you ask them to take an action, they're going to be much more likely to do so because they've done it at the beginning of the call. Always try to do a video call if you can and connect with them face to face. Much more personalized than doing like phone calls and stuff like that. And never try to sell over email and stuff like that. It's a high ticket. Always get them on a video call if you can. And everything with a question. Ask them a question so you can control the conversation with them. At the beginning, ask them, are all decision makers on the call? If not, reschedule the call. Don't waste their time if they have to say, oh no, I don't make the decisions. I have to ask my boss. Have boss on the line, then do the call. Tell them you'll ask some personalized questions because the call is all about helping them understand their journey. And it is. Ultimately, in a discovery call, you're trying to figure out their pain points and you're trying to solve those pain points in that call, right? And telling them how they can get your help if they want more help solving those things. So try to let them know that you're going to really need to know about them before you can tell them what they need to do to fix that, which direction they need to start walking. So let them know up front. So it's called an upfront contract, basically. And if they say things like they need to think about it or they'll do it later and stuff like that, show them the ROI. Show them how much they're missing by not doing it today. Show them how much they could have made had they done it today. That's it. Just let them buy themselves into it. Don't try to sell something to them. Let them buy it. Let them buy. Ask them, and then by the end of the call that we'll come up with a solution to their problem, and if we do, can we commit to making a decision by the end of the call? It's called an upfront contract, like I talked about. Because if they can't make a decision by the end of the call, they need to reschedule the call when they are in a buying mode. You don't want them spending, you don't want to spend all this time and then next thing you know, nobody's buying anything from you. All right. Always come back to the meaning behind why they want what they want. Always come back to the bigger why. Everybody has a why, okay? Try to figure out what that is. Let them talk as much as possible so they can believe in the solution and sell themselves on it. Again, let them do most of the talking. Don't do most of the talking when you're on the phone. The real reason is usually money, so help them see how much money they're losing by not taking action today. So if they say they think about it, they don't. It's money. Okay, 9 out of 10 times because they don't want to spend money. They don't have the money to spend. Show them how much they could be making if they had taken action today and done these things to get to them to the next level. Just show them what they're missing. Some of the biggest mistakes in life we make are what? Missed opportunities. Okay? Tell them you only work with those people who take action right away, and they said they'll make a decision by the end of the call. If they say anything like, I think about it, point them out and say, hey, you said at the beginning of this call that you're going to take action, right? You're going to make a decision. So hold them to that. And if they still persistently say no, the reason is something like they need more time, think about it, etc., then while they're on the call with you, schedule the next meeting with them. Simple as that. Don't let them off the phone without scheduling a follow-up meeting. That's really it. There is to phone sales. And remember, sales is all about trust and desire. Those are the two things that are important. Do they trust who you are, and do they believe that you can do what you're saying, and that they believe that they can do what you're saying they can do? And desire, how bad do they actually want this thing? If they don't want it, you can't sell it to them. There's nothing you can do. If they actually want it, then you can work with that person. So as I said before, that I have a lot of automation things that are in place. So one of the things that I use is called virtual assistants. Okay, I use virtual assistants to automate a major portions of my business. So I find them on Upwork, Fiverr, Facebook groups, referrals, things like that. I interview them. I make sure that are they from Philippines or India. Philippines are great with talking to people and communication. Indians are great at technical stuff. I make videos for them that shows exactly how to do some certain processes. I record all the processes so I can have one VA teach another VA, and I can replicate that again and again. Okay, I hire VAs to manage other VAs. Then I completely draw myself out of the business altogether. I'm building an army of virtual assistants. Currently, I have over 20 virtual assistants that work with me on a regular basis so that they can teach each other and they can kind of run certain parts of my business without me physically being involved in a lot of it. And again, you can really scale your business with other people. You can't really scale much by yourself oftentimes. It's very hard to. So how do you effectively scale everything once you've built everything up? Well, you got to scale your campaigns. Whatever you're doing that's working, do more of it. Simple as that. More automation. The less time you just physically spend doing things, the more you can automate, the more time you can spend in growing the business. Have a bigger budget, bigger ad budget, especially. Scale it. Partnerships. Partner up with people that are bigger than you, that are doing things that are bigger, okay, that you can leverage their audience, their following, their customer base. You can think about continuity programs. People opt in, they buy something from you, put them on a program where they repeatedly reap the benefits of something that you provide while they pay you some sort of monthly subscription fee or weekly or yearly, whatever it might be. And invest in your business. And invest outside of your business as well. Once you make money from a business, you can take that and you can invest that into real estate. You can invest that into stocks. You can invest that into like a traditional brick and mortar business. You can do a lot more with it. But investing in your business and taking money out of your business, investing in other things, is also ways that you could scale not only your business but your personal life and your other businesses as well. So obviously, this video is here to help you guys make a decision and for you guys to really understand um, what we're all about and what we do and how we do the things that we do. And for my biggest goal is for you to watch this video and take something from it, go home, shut this laptop down, take action right away. Now, as far as what I do, you guys should already know, but if you don't know it, we have an amazing program. It's called the Zero to Famous in a Year Accelerator. We pretty much teach you guys everything step by step on how to become a contributor to these major publications. In fact, we guarantee that you'll get into a publication within 45 days. And if you don't get into the publication within 45 days, we'll give you full money back. I'll just briefly take you guys through that program real quick right now. It's somewhere right here. So how to start a